Welcome to another edition of Kyle Meredith with it's the interview series presented by WFPK at WFPK.org, Consequence, and the Consequence Podcast Network. Thanks as always for making your way here, checking out the series. Of course, you know what to do if you like what you see, what you hear. Hit that subscribe button. I put out 3 new interviews every single week, so it's a great way to keep up with all of your favorite artists and discover those new ones. Of course, this one is not a new one. I don't mind saying is a legend. David Alan Grier is here. Hello, sir.
How you doing, man?
I'm great.
Depressing. This one's not a new one. This is an old-time favorite, kind of like an antique, vintage, if you will.
I believe they would call them accidental backhanded compliments, is what that is.
Fossilized, dead yet still breathing. Please welcome. So you got it in there.
I wanted to make sure that right off the bat, after having met you, I just put my foot in my mouth.
No, I'm just giving you a hard time. It's no big deal.
Chew it up a little bit.
I do like listening to awkward interviews, misread credits and, tell me about Funny Girl. I was never
not there
in Funny Girl. Oh, okay. Yeah. So we won't have that, right?
We're not going to have that, but I was thinking have you? I would love to see someone just roll with it though, like try to answer the questions if they were there.
I did. I mean, probably the most awkward moment is years ago. I was being interviewed with Kim Wayans, and this woman goes, "One of the things I love about you, David, is you've never rested on your laurels." And I said, "Thank you. You've never let your family name get you a job." And I was like, "Excuse me?" She said, "We all know you're a Wayans, but you changed your name." And I was like, I'm not a Wayans." And Kim was laughing, and she said, "See, this is what I'm talking about. You're so humble." Kim goes, "No, he's not a Wayans." And she said, "That's what I love about you." She just
doubled down on it, really. Yeah.
She said, but she won, because finally I just went, "Okay, I'm Wayans." So I was like, okay. It was just, you have to choose your battles.
Sure. Well, I will take a little part of that, at least, on the resting on your laurels part, not with the Wayans thing. But you're in a busy season, and maybe you always are. You've got an incredible resume, and tons of classics in there. But even just looking at, you have The Color Purple that's coming out Christmas Day. We also just saw you in Candy Cane Lane. Hopefully you're actually in both of those, because I'm pretty sure
I am. No, I am. I'm nodding, because if I start going, what? Wait a minute, what?
But it is anyone who has a career, especially in entertainment, musician, acting, whatever. There's usually peaks and valleys.
Yeah.
I don't find as many valleys with you, and maybe that's perception.
No, I've always worked from the time I started. I started working in 1981. And I remember talking to actors back then, older actors, they were like, "Oh, well," because I started, I was on this Broadway show. I did a few films back then. And they were like, "Well, there will be a valley coming and you'll see, you can get through it." And I was like, "I never have not worked." And they chuckled and was like, "Oh, the exuberance of youth, the folly." But knock on wood, this strike is the longest period in over 40 years where I've gone without work. And that's because we couldn't work. Right. No, but I feel great. I feel blessed and awesome. I finally know what I'm doing. You know what I mean? And I'm ready. I'm 67, and I just didn't think I would be working like this at this point in my life. I think I was more on the Chrysler employee 65-year retire mode, but so it's just kind of a confluence of events and opportunities. All this stuff is coming, and it feels like I'm really on a roll, and I'm ready. I'm ready for it. Yeah. My box is packed.
When you look at that, though, and seeing just the breadth of what you've been able to play throughout your career, from very serious roles, from historical roles to Antoine Merriweather and everything that happens. It's like, is there a method to that madness? Has there
method in terms of? Well, method in terms of, when I was much younger, I remember there was a season in which Michael Keaton did Scared, what was it called? Clean and Sober, I
Mhm.
think, was just a harrowing drama about a recovering addict. The same year he did Beetlejuice.
Yeah.
So that was always my goal. I said that is, and he was amazing in both. Or there was one time when Tim Curry had like a top 10 new age album. He was in Rocky Horror and he'd done something else, something like that. I just want to be all over the place because I knew I could do it, but it's kind of like you have to re-educate or remind the establishment and even the public. That was before social media, and I still get people go, "Oh, I didn't know you sang. I didn't know you do drama. I didn't know you went to drama school." They kind of just see what's in front of them.
Mhm.
So, but I'm cool with it. When I was younger, I was like, "How dare you?" I played cello in 5th grade,
I
but
came from
now I'm
Yale.
just exactly. Well, yeah. But now I'm cool, man. All they got to do is Google it.
Right.
Just look me up, man. It's right there. Haven't been hiding.
Well, it's happening right now. Again, Color Purple, but then and Candy Cane Lane at the same time, which I so Candy Cane Lane, very fun movie, family movie, right? And what a set to be a part of.
Yeah.
Huge cast. Eddie's there, Ken Marino's there, and just and on and on and on. Which I would love to even know what those off-camera moments might be like. But what's oh, I'm sorry, yeah, go on.
Well, it was really funny because it's been like 30 years.
Mhm.
I've probably kept in closest touch with Reggie, always checking in and just checking up on each other periodically. I hadn't really seen Eddie. I guess I'd seen him once or twice, but walking onto the set, it's like we picked up where we left off. He's real happy. We're all a little older. We all have families, kids, wives, ex-wives. That's kind of what we were talking about. Kids, family. We used to be, clothes, party, club, that kind of stuff. But we've earned it, I feel like, right? I mean, yeah, we've earned it. So it was really fun. It's always fun to work with artists who are great and also energized to be there. You know what I mean? There's nothing worse than working with someone. Oh, I can't wait. I've dreamed of working with this person. And you get on set and they're like an ogre. And you're like, what? No, it was really smooth. It was cool, man.
Yeah. What's the appeal of playing a holiday movie? Because again, I think if you're in the business long enough, everybody ends up doing one, at
Yeah,
least
I
one.
don't, I'm going to say cautiously that this is my first official holiday movie. I say cautiously because people have, is Die Hard a
Sure, right,
Christmas movie?
right.
Is it? That kind of stuff. But I never played one. And Reggie said immediately, look, we want you to play Santa Claus. I was like, finally, my pandemic beard paid off. First of all. Second of all, they made me wear a beard because it wasn't white and bushy enough, which was, I was appalled.
No, that's
I said,
incredible,
how dare
right?
you? Yeah. Come on, that's cool. But then he said, but we're not going to advertise it because we want it to be a surprise. And that's always trepidation because, I've done a lot of Broadway and I've been in that situation where, and David, when you walk on stage, we're going to pause
Mhm.
because the ovation, cut to performance. Ba, 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 da, ba. And here I am. They're like, it's a matinee Saturday night. It's gonna be great. Yeah. Anyway, but so when the movie came out, I was like, damn, man, they didn't put me in any of the ads because I forgot that they said it's a surprise. And then I was surprised
Right.
by it. So
I mean, the same thing. I was told you were in it. I go to watch it, and it's about a little halfway through, quarters of the way through. It's like, wait a second. You start trying to put it together. It's like,
putting it two together.
this is gonna
David's
be
an elf. No?
nope.
Okay.
It's gonna be Santa. And what a fine Santa you did play. Wow.
Hey man, thank you. I put the costume on. I was like, damn, that coat. They made the Santa's coat. It went all the way down to my mid calf. It wasn't functional in that it didn't have side pockets, but that is one item I definitely would have been like, put it in my car, because it was so beautiful and all of it was really awesome, man.
I was looking at a picture earlier. I think it's from the Beauty and the Beast, and the clock costume that you're wearing on that one, which doesn't look like it would be as comfortable as what you're talking about with the Santa costume.
It was not, but we were all in it together. I mean, it's different if I were the clock and everybody else was quote normal, but we were all. Shania Twain was a big teacup, everybody. So Martin Short was Martin Short, of course. That was fun in a different way because we were all so bizarre. They should have just done footage of us trying to negotiate sitting down in between breaks.
Got to go to the bathroom. That's not gonna
Yeah,
happen.
that took some work, but it was that was fun in a different way. I adore Martin Short, so anytime he's in something, I'd be like, I'm kind of stalky, but I think he tolerates me.
It looks fun. It looks, it's if that's suffering for the arts, that's some pretty good suffering right there.
It wasn't that bad, but it was. I think the sound man. All Martin and I did is do industry gossip the entire time. And Martin told me, like toward the end, the sound guy goes, "Hey, maybe next time you guys might want to, I don't know, turn your mics off or wait till you're out of costume."
Shut up.
Intimate sexual details of famous people. We were like, oops. But that's one of those things where everything's sewn in. You can't just let me take, not in that situation. I was a teacup.
The B-roll.
Oh, no, I was a clock, rather.
Clock.
Sorry.
You were the clock. You were. Yeah, right. Let me remind you.
You're going to edit that part out, right?
Oh, yeah, right. That part's completely
Mm.
edited. On to more serious matters. No, but the color purple. What an event this is. And somehow I've got friends, really close friends, who love the Broadway version of it. And it had escaped me that there was a Broadway version of it. So when I heard that not only are they updating the movie, but it's going to be a musical, and my first thought was the first scene from the '85 movie going, incestual rape. Let's sing about it.
And here he comes again. Yeah, well, I think that was probably one of the motivating factors to want to be in it. That, and also, once I found out that Steven Spielberg and Oprah Winfrey were involved, then that was kind of like a blessing because you don't know how it's going to be. I'd never heard of Blitz, the director, but first of all, I called my team and I was like, just get me in this movie. And they're like, yeah, but we're going to ask for a house and a jet. And I was like, no, just don't, I'll do anything. I really want to be a part of this because I auditioned for the original movie, the 1985 movie. I auditioned for Harpo and I was like, I am born to play this. I did not get a call back and I was like devastated because, at that age, I was 25, 26. I just felt like there's never going to be a role like this. I'd read the novel years ago. Before that, there's never going to be a movie like this ever, and just devastated. But then here we go. And I just forgot when it became a musical. I remember flying myself to New York to read for Mr. and sing. Stephen Bray and I have known each other. He's a musical, one of the composers, musical guy on the show. We've known each other since high school in Detroit. And I fly in. Again, thank you so much, David. Thank you. Then the dreaded words, good luck. On first dates and job interviews, anytime you hear good luck, they might as well say, not here, not here.
Give you a call.
Yeah, maybe somewhere else.
Right.
So I totally forgot about that. So this is actually my third swing.
Nice sticking with it.
Getting to Blitz, they said, well, Blitz, the director, he wants to meet you on Zoom. And I'm like, oh boy, here we go. And he just made a presentation. He showed me costume renderings. He showed me the choreography that he had shot, with the dancers. And they're like, and this is where you come in, David. We want you to do this and this. And I'm like, I'm in, I'm gonna do it. No, wait. And then he showed me each scene, how they were plotted out. He showed me the sets. I've never in my whole career had that. I'm usually the one going, just fit me in there.
Please, right.
So I was bowled over. It was like he was trying to convince me to do this project. And I was like, clearly he knows not my desperation. But it was just a joy. And I really feel like when I found out they were adding new music, younger composers, the way he put together the cast, I really felt like that's what this needed to bring in a new audience, because or else the other thing is then you're like doing a live action version of I almost said cartoon, which is really like, wow, the N word for animators, really, that is it. But you know what I mean? So, and the public is going to get that. Mm-hmm. That is the longest recorded answer ever, but that's what I felt.
No, that's you answered the questions I would have asked as follow-up anyway.
So I am living AI, predicted answers. By the way, I am divorced. Go on. Oh.
Didn't even, that was thanks for that one. I will, but knowing that a lot of us have images of these characters one way or the other, from the ones we made up in our head for the books, the movie, the Broadway version, whatever. Like when you've got an image and here you are, as preacher, Shug's dad, like how do you then play it? Like, is that part, like, are you trying to bring something completely new? Do you lean into it? Like, what was that for you?
I mean, all the actor stuff is I always try to approach every role from a neutral place, not putting too much preconceived, I'm going to do this when you do that. And because you're not with the other actors until you're with them. So I don't want to pre-plan, Taraji, if you could just lean in and go, and that's going to really feed my moment. I didn't want to do that. I just went with it, man. I went with it. The main thing about a musical is you got to do all the music first. And you're kind of committing to an emotional through line in your character because you're putting it down. That's like pre-recording a dramatic scene and then fitting that in and later acting around and up to what you've pre-recorded. So, and that happened, weeks before I ever got down to Georgia. But it was just such a inclusive and easy artistic environment. I mean, they had great hopes. Like I know Steven was going, David, we're going to get you a piano coach. And I was like, okay. Oh, you got this.
That's the high expectations, right?
I'm like, my best. I played cello, not piano. But yeah, man. But so they were kind of like, show us what you have, and we're going to tell you what we want, and we're going to find a way moving forward and moving in. And they added that whole last scene, our reconciliation. And of course, that's the best thing you want to hear when the producers go, do you mind if we give you more to do? Not at all. Not at all.
Yeah. And that's because I think maybe you were saying this, or maybe not, but like you've done Broadway, but was this the first time you did musical in film? Had you done that before?
No, I've done other films with music. Like I sang, and I'm telling you, I'm not going as a 600-pound man. You didn't reference that, sir? You didn't?
Let me dig back in.
Dance flick, the Wayans brothers, dance flick. No,
yeah, right.
It was probably the best review I've ever gotten in the New York Times. And again,
is that true?
You got to go read it. You have to go read it. I was like, yeah, not Shakespeare, nothing. No, it's dance flick. Absolutely.
All right.
Yeah, and I just said, I'll take it. A win's a win. That's really where I'm at in this world.
That's
right
completely
now.
True. Yeah. That's what, that's what I was wondering. It's like, but how different is it? And I think that's what you were just saying, like having to record it at the beginning and everything. But it seems like I'm maybe it's apples and oranges, and we're just trying to make it apples and apples because you're singing both ways and you're
It
performing.
is, yeah. I mean that to me, as an actor, that's the real challenge. It's something that you have to record earlier,
Mm.
and so you kind of have to put more thought into it. You're by yourself in a studio. Go for it, man. This is the big dramatic tune, go for it. Or this is the entrance of your character. Um, um,
But then you have to match it in some
yeah.
way later.
Yeah, I mean, I've only done it like this in both of those flicks, and there have been a couple of others, but those are the big ones. They'll usually play the track live, or you'll have a little earwig, meaning a microphone thing in your ear, louder, softer. I usually sing along with myself because that's the only way I can really match the energy if it's technically possible, as opposed to just mouthing the words, pantomime, which I need to kind of at least vocalize a little bit so that I can get the same emotional level, the same energy, and that kind of stuff.
Yeah. And with the Broadway side of things, because you also just came off not too long ago, right? For the third
Yeah.
time on
Soldier's Play. I
right.
guess I'm in that point where revisiting, like an old failed relationship. Hey, maybe we'll work out this time. you know,
And
uh, yeah, that was crazy too, because again, I didn't foresee this happening 20, 30, 40. That was one of the first roles I ever did. I didn't really think, oh, I'll be back.
Mhm.
Out of all the things, I didn't think, oh, I'll be back. I'll do this again 2 or 3 more times. I just, I didn't see it. It was a blessing. Also, a different role in each production of the Soldier's Play, Soldier's Story, the movie. So it's awesome. And also, they've been such a long time. It's a different role. I remember one point, Kenny Leon goes, well, what did you remember from like Adolph Caesar's performance? And I came in, I took over a role from an actor, Larry Riley. I played CJ Memphis. Well, here's what happened. I went to see the play and I concentrated on my role because Sam Jackson was in this production, Adolph Caesar, Denzel Washington, to name a few. So that's kind of like you're joining a relay team and they're already running the race. You just don't want to drop the baton. So my answer is I don't really remember a lot of that because when I wasn't on stage, I was preparing for the next scene because literally I was shoved in there from Dreamgirls, by the way. At that point, I was doing Dreamgirls into this production. And I just didn't, I wanted to hit it at their energy level and up to speed. You don't want to drag the production down. So it was really like coming to it fresh and new and from day one, so.
Yeah, what a special thing to be able to do though. To be able to revisit, something
I'll
like
tell you a funny story. Kenny Leon told me, he said he went to Sam Jackson when we were going to do a Soldier's Play. He said, Sam, tell me about the original production, the NEC, Negro Ensemble production. What happened in the beginning of the play? Because Kenny changed all that the way he did it. He said, Sam goes, I don't know, man. They turned the lights out and we started talking. So I agree with
the
Mr.
art of acting.
Exactly. I mean, come on. Who's heavier than Sam Jackson? Come on, man.
See your line, hit your mark.
Exactly, man.
That's
But
it.
no, man, just that. I mean, I remember I was sitting in my car after coming out of a Trader Joe's in Burbank and musing just to myself, well, if I were gonna go back to Broadway, it'd have to be something pretty heavy. And Kenny called. And my heart dropped. It just was like, oh God. Because first of all, I was like, I'm gonna have to say no because this is not gonna be one of those roles. And I said, well, what are you doing? And he said, Soldier's Play. And then I just went, oh boy. But it's not gonna be the character. And I said, well, part do you want me to play? And he said, the sergeant. And I just knew in that moment, I have to do it.
Mhm.
I have to rearrange my life, and immediately went home and started getting things together, even though I said I have to sleep on it, because I always say that just to
But
give
you
myself,
knew.
yeah, you have to.
Yeah.
I had to do it. So those are the kind of calls you want. It's really not out of my hands.
Mhm.
You know, I don't have to call anyone and go, should I? Would this be right for at this juncture? Will this add to or take away from my legacy? No, I was just like, I have to do this and I don't really care. We're going to make room and go for it.
That's
So,
awesome, though. That really is, you know.
yes, indeed, it is.
Then you got another 20 years before you have to go back and do it again. So
I don't know. I'll be the ghost. I'll be like, you'll be that here. I don't even know if I'm done with these projects because they keep coming back. They keep
Mhm.
coming back, man.
Yeah. Well, and again, to say as we started with all the stuff that's came your way, I'm also looking at the I, I I heard you say this in one of the interviews, so I'm saying it wrong if I say St. Denis Medical, right? It's not.
St. Denis. Yeah, St. Denis Medical's a pilot that I did right before the strike that got picked up by NBC. That's going. I have another movie coming out as well.
You do. I wasn't going to say it other than saying the American Society of Magic. It's,
That were the Magical Negroes, the American Society of Magical Negroes. You can say that. You saw it.
I
I
think I
have a
can.
blue tick coonhound, and when I ask white people, I go, what kind of dog is Pickles? He's a blue tick coonhound, and they go, oh, he's a hound.
It is.
I didn't make it up. There's
Yeah.
no racial connotation. It's a dog. You can say it.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, man, a lot. There's a lot going on.
Which, by the way, that movie, and for the, I know we can't, there's not much to say yet, and there's a teaser out there, and that teaser, I am so pulled in by just that minute and a half that I can't name another movie that I want to see more next year than what I've seen right there.
You know what it reminds me? Because I'm getting goosebumps when the first time I saw the trailer. You know, I worked on it. We spent countless hours, days, weeks on it, but then you kind of have to wait to see it. And it hit me the same way. It's like taking a picture of something or someone and then viewing the picture and realizing how beautiful it was. Although you took the picture, you were there at that time of day in that room, but oh my gosh, it it captured everything and more. So those are awesome, cool things too when those happen, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it looks like a beautiful movie and a cool story. I'm a sucker for magic, and I don't know why. You know, it's like I'm a sucker for time travel movies. They don't even have to be good, and I'm like, I'm in it. I'm for it. You know,
Put
but
it in anything. Put it in
yeah,
anything.
yeah. But
Um,
this one doesn't not look good. This one looks beautiful and looks cool. So really, seriously, you
although filming magic is never magic. It's really like Candy Cane Lane was like, all right, Robin Thede here, David, but she's really little. Go. And I'm like, okay.
know.
Hey, what are you doing? You know, they're little toys. Show them the little bitty toys, and okay, now she's big again. And I'm like, okay, yeah. Jumanji. It was just the director. I would say from 1 to 10, meaning 10 means you want me to scream so loud my head explodes, to 1 with no reaction, and he would go, okay, well this is the vine. So they would show me a rendering of the vine that's pulling my car. Give me a 7.5. I said, you got it. And we just kept going. But most of it, no, there's no magic. We just have to act.
Thank goodness movie magic exists because it really
Yes.
this is going to sound like something that Nicole Kidman would say at the beginning of a trailer in a movie theater. But that stuff means something. That magic that you all do in this silly little acting thing and what happens afterwards and like it changes society, you know.
Well, it's the oldest form of entertainment. Not to get too deep, but I was in Africa years and years ago. And after a long day, looking at wildlife, we built this big, huge bonfire. You could hear lions roaring, and people were just talking. And I was like, well, this is the original TV. It really is that, storytelling. I'm going to tell you about what happened yesterday. You went to the water hole. Oh, no. and you start building on it. And that's all we're really doing. I mean, as an actor, I love being a part of the storytelling. And as a viewer, I love being carried away, taken away by the story that's being presented to me. I want it to be successful. Who wants to go out to see a movie or a play and be disappointed? Nobody. I want to be taken away, carried away. It is thrilling, and we become children almost, you know? I love it.
Well, I appreciate what you've done throughout, and again, movie after show and performance. You've done some of the greatest moments in front of a camera in history, and I mean that too. And I'm sure that will continue because you just do not stop.
Hey man, I'm on a roll. I'm on a roll. Let's go. I'm ready. My lunch
David,
is packed.
yeah, thank you so much for taking the time to talk about it. Congratulations on all the success this year as well. I can't wait to see all the stuff next year.
Thank you, man. Thanks for talking to me. It's been fun.
And thanks to my guest. Also, thanks to you for checking out the episode in the series. Before you get out of here, hit that subscribe button. Again, you get 3 brand new interviews every single week. New one every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at right here on YouTube, or of course anywhere in podcast land, including iTunes, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Podchaser, NPR, or WFPK.org as well. A great way to keep up with your favorite artists and discover new ones as well. Then after that, actually head over to WFPK.org. That's where I do a show Monday through Friday, 6 p.m. Eastern. It's an hour full of song premieres, music news, anniversary spins, bonus interviews, Monday through Friday, 6 p.m. Eastern at WFPK.org. Consequence has your music and film news. You can also find me on the social media spots, Facebook, Instagram, mostly on Twitter. All 3 of them, the address is at Kyle Meredith. Do hope you like and follow along. That does it for another edition. I'm Kyle Meredith. I'll see you next time.